So in our previous slide we are discussing about what is your rail and what is the function of rail. So now we discuss about what are the requirements of rail, why we need rail to move the train. So first one is there should be a proper composition of steel which should be manufactured by open heart process, and the rail should be capable of withstanding lateral forces. The head should be sufficiently deep to allow for an adequate margin of vertical wear, and the wave of the rail should be sufficiently thick to bear the load coming on it, and the section of the rail should be such that the end of the two adjacent rail can be efficiently joined with a pair of fish plate. Okay? So basically, whenever we make a rail or whenever we require a rail, what are the composition or how the rail will be made that is perfect for a track. So whatever the rail we are using, that should be in proper composition, which made by your steel, and it will be manufactured by open heart process, and whatever the rail we are using for the track, that should be capable or that should be able to withstand, to bear the load lateral forces which apply by the the stresses arises from your train, and the rail's head should be sufficiently deep that can allow the adequate margin for the vertical wear. And what is the wave? Wave means your train. Okay, your rail vertical portion, which is shown in the figure. See here, this is the vertical portion. Okay, and this vertical portion should sufficiently thick that should be bear the load which coming from it. Okay, and if it will not capable to bear, then it will be breakdown or it will be damaged. And if once the rails one portion will be damaged of the vertical portion, then the rail track will be damaged and there will be chances of your accident. Okay, and the section of the rail should be such that the end of the two adjacent rail can efficiently join whenever in which point your joint is here. Suppose here a joint is given. Okay, so whenever a rail is end here and another new rail will be start from here, so end to end point should be joined properly. Okay, because in the joint point whenever the load will be applied, that should be more stresses will be apply on that front or that joint places, and which damage the rail. So that's why it should be sufficiently or it will be efficiently joined with a pair of fish plate. Okay, and the section of the rail should be such that the load of each wheel is transferred to the sleeper, and the section of the rail should be able to withstand lateral forces which caused due to the fast moving train. And the next one is here, the bottom of head and top of foot should be given such a shape that fish plates can be easily fitted. Okay, and the center of gravity of the rail section, which should preferably coincide to the center of the height of the rail, so that the maximum tensile and compressive stresses are nearly equal, and the head of the rail, which is sufficiently thick, which should be capable or withstand to bear the vertical wear, and the section of the rail should be such that the end to end adjacent portion will be make efficiently joined or properly joined with fixed plate that can hamper the load to the joint portion, and the surface for rail table that and gauge for that should be sufficiently hard which able to resist the wear of the train load. Okay, and this is all about your requirement of rail. So for a ideal track, these components or this property should have a rail. After that, the train will be moved safely and smoothly. So next come to the another side, which is your types of rail. So here we discuss about what are the types of rail. So basically your rail is of three types. Okay, and here the image of your rail, it is a cross section of your rail. This is your track, and here I showing you that is the cross section part of your rail. Okay, see here, this is the portion where your it is the vertical portion, it is the foot, and it is the top portion. Here the top portion which make more thicker. Okay, and this will be able to withstand the vertical or lateral loads or stresses of your train. And this is the foot path or foot portion which used to fitting with the slipper by your chair or fastening instrument, and it is the vertical portion. Okay, next come to the next slide. Basically your rail is of three types. One is your double headed rail, second one is your bull headed rail, and third one is your flat footed rail. So now we discuss it by one. So first one is your double headed rail. Okay, so double headed rail means what? See here the picture. Double headed rail means it have two head. Okay, so the rail section whose foot and head are of same dimension. Foot or head means, see here in this picture, this is your head portion and this is your foot portion. It is a rail track of your train. Okay, and in this track here two rails are provided. In this rail it is the top portion and it is the foot portion. Foot portion will be jointed with slipper, and on the top portion the train wheel will be moved like this. Okay, so the rail section whose foot and head are of same dimension, that are called your double headed rail or dumbbell rail. Okay, so next come, in the beginning these rails were widely used in the rail track. So in whenever our train track will be made in past, we are using this type of rail which is double headed rail in the beginning of the track. And the idea behind using these rails was that when the head had worn out due to the rubbing action of the wheel, the rail could be inverted and reused. Okay, so as the economical point of view, in the beginning of your made of track, in that time the engineers are used of double headed rail, and the cause of and the ideas of behind it to use that whenever the top portion, we already discussed that this rail having same dimension of head and foot, so that's why whenever the top portion of the rail will be worn out or damaged by the rubbing action of wheel, then it will be inverted and the foot portion will be reused as a top portion. Okay, so in the whenever it is used, but by experience and experiment it was found that their foot could not be reused because it running the surface whenever the top portion is used for running surface, and the bottom portion, due to the load, the bottom portion corrugated under the impact of wheel load. And this type of rail is not used in Indian Railway nowadays. So this is your picture Okay, all of you see here, this is the top portion, this is the bottom portion. The total dimension is here. Okay, this is the wave, and this is about your top portion is 70 mm, and bottom portion also same dimension 70 mm. This distance is 44 mm. This width is your 19 mm wave portion, and this height is your 64 mm, and by this portion from here to here, this distance is your 44 mm, and your total distance is here 152 mm. Okay, so this is all about your double headed rail, and the rest part of type of rail we will discuss in our next slide. Thank you.